Rice dishes are an absolute favorite here on my channel, but do you know what's even more popular? My one-pot rice cooker recipes. So I've got everything here from a Cheats Hainan chicken rice to rice cooker lamb biryani, and this one, which is my most popular, honey soy chicken rice. One of Asia's most classic chicken and rice dishes, but is there a way that we can make it easier? This is my one-pot version of Chinese Hainanese chicken and rice. Okay, so like a classic Hainanese chicken rice is a joy forever, but it is like a bit of a palaver to make. So I wanted to come up with a version that you could do like on a weeknight, just with one pot, so you get the same kind of, chicken and rice vibes. So I'm gonna do mine today in a rice cooker, which I think is really fun. We're gonna start off with the rice first of all, adding some chicken stock here, some spring onion, ginger, and then I like to add just a little dash of some finely chopped garlic here as well for some extra flavor. It's kind of optional. If you don't like a garlicky rice, you could leave it out. And now the chicken pieces. So I'm going in here with some legs and thighs, you know me. Drumsticks are going in. And then with my thigh pieces, I've got skin on but boneless because I want to be able to slice up my thighs at the end. But you know what, you could go all bone-in pieces. Please don't do chicken breast. I mean, no. You can do chicken breast if you want to, but I mean, there is always method to the madness here. And the thing is that with these secondary cuts, if you like, you've got a bit more fat, and that fat is kind of like the flavor that really enhances the rice. So that's the reason why I like to go with the thighs and legs here. Then let's close the lid, press start, and away you go. All right, so in the meantime, we're gonna make a spring onion sauce. It's very simple. I just want some spring onion, and you need quite a bit of spring onion here. So this is often something I'll make to use up, like a bunch of spring onion sitting in the bottom of my crisper or something like that. Bottom of my crisper is such an inspiration sometimes. Now, spring onion just goes into my mortar here. Just need a pinch of salt. And then just pound the spring onion so that it's kind of smushed and a little bit bruised. So I don't need like a smooth paste here, but I definitely want to break down like the firm fibers of that spring onion. All right, so this is the situation you're looking for, kind of a little smushed and bruised, exactly that. Now, what I need to do here is heat up some oil and then also some sesame oil. Now when that oil's nice and hot, then you want to pour it over your spring onion, and the oil kind of cooks the spring onion and forms the sauce, and there's a nice little sizzle involved. And there you go. Now mine's just a straight out spring onion version today. You can add ginger, you could add garlic if you wanted to, so lots of different options there. So I'm gonna pop some of that spring onion sauce onto my serving plate. I've got some sambal oelek here as well. I like to have the extra little bit of chili with the spring onion sauce. Now let's check out what's happening in here. Ooh, nice. It smells really good. I love that smell. Oh, it's so comforting. Chicken, rice, so good. All right, so I'm gonna take the chicken out first so I can slice up the thigh piece a little bit later. And I like to do kind of like a molded rice situation. So pop my rice into a bowl and then tip that out onto your plate. Ah, the big reveal. Oh, I love it, so cute. Slice up my chicken. A little bit of cucumber, and there you go. So not the traditional Hainanese chicken rice, but certainly a lot easier. And yeah, let's get in here and try this guy. It certainly gives you the same comforting kind of chicken rice vibes. For me, I would be very, very happy. Rice has a lot of flavor. It's yum. And today I am taking that wonderful thing, the lamb biryani, and I'm gonna see if I can make it more conveniently in a rice cooker. The first step for our lamb biryani is to actually make a lamb curry. So I'm going to start off with the marinade. You just want some garlic and some green chili, some salt in a mortar, and then use a pestle to pound to a smoothish kind of paste, just like this. Divide that into large mixing bowls. I'm doing 2 batches here. Add in the grated ginger, ground coriander, garam masala, Kashmiri chili powder. I actually use it more for colour. It's not so fiery. And if you can't get a hold of Kashmiri chili powder, you can just use some sweet paprika for the colour. Now, also for colour, I'm going to add in some turmeric and some yogurt. Give everything a really good mix. Now let's talk about lamb. Where'd my lamb go? Oh, it's in the prime fresh drawer. I forgot it was in there. Literally, I actually forgot. I'm using lamb shoulder today because it's a secondary cut that'll break down and get all like soft and gelatinous. And you just want to cut it into pieces like around about 4 centimeters, cubes. It doesn't have to be exact. Now divide the lamb into the marinade and mix thoroughly. If you're really organized, you can leave this overnight to marinate, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and use it straight away because I'm not that organized. Now I need to cook the lamb curry. Now I'm going to try cooking it in the rice cooker and on the stovetop to see if there's any difference in time. So I want to start heating up the rice cooker like I would a regular pan. I think I'm going to use the congee setting. That's the one I'm going to go for. And start. Same time, I'm going to get my pan heating up. And I'm aiming here to be able to do the biryani in 1 pot. So 1 pot in the rice cooker, 1 pot on the stovetop, and we'll see how we go. For the rice cooker version, I add ghee and the marinated lamb. Oh, look at that. Listen to that sizzle. Cook and stir the lamb for around about 3 to 4 minutes or until everything is smelling lovely. For the stovetop lamb curry, add the ghee, and when it melts, add in the marinated lamb. Okay, so we're definitely getting a little more sizzle in the pot. It's probably more fit for purpose in terms of searing off meat. Okay, so now's the easy part. We just do this. And then for this guy, just turn the heat down, lid on, and we're just gonna see what happens. While your curry is cooking, you want to prep your basmati rice. Place it in a bowl, cover with water, and soak it for at least 30 minutes. There we go. Let's have a look in here, because the point is, I want to see if this has been able to make the lamb tender within an hour. No, I reckon it needs just slightly longer. Let me have a look at this one. Let me see. No, that one's also, actually that one's even firmer. Round 2. Let's go back in. It's called Test Kitchen for a reason. I reckon we're not far off. 30 minutes I'm going to give it. I'm not so sure about. We shall see. To bloom the saffron, and that's you want to place some milk into a small saucepan, add the saffron, but make sure the milk's cool at this stage, then turn the heat on and gently warm the milk and stir it. What we want to do is release the flavor of the saffron without damaging it, so you don't want to boil it or anything like that. As soon as that milk is just warm to the touch, turn it off and allow it to infuse for about 15 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Let's have a look. Ta-da! Ooh, I think we're looking good in here. Okay, so remember, we're at the 1.5 hour mark. Usually a lamb or a beef curry for me needs at least 2 hours. So let's see if we've made any headway here. And yes, we passed the squish test. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it's so tender. Oh, yeah. Let's see how our pot is going. Squish test. Oh, we're not quite there. We're not quite there. I reckon it's bang on. It's 2 hours always, or maybe a bit over in the pot. And this guy has done it quicker. Look at that. Now what I do want to do though is for both of these curries, well, this is going to have to cook for a little bit longer before we can get started, but I do want to kind of reduce the sauce down a little bit, make it a bit thicker. So I'm going to let this kind of simmer away with the lid open, and I might do the same here in the hopes that this guy might catch up. Okay, so here we are at the building stage. I really want to see at this point how each of these vessels is going to cook the rice, because of course biryani is all about the perfectly fluffy rice. I'm going to put half of my rice in here, scatter over the fried shallots, and I'm using fried shallots as a cheat here instead of doing fried red onions myself. Then repeat with another layer of rice and shallots. add in the cardamom pods, bay leaves and cinnamon stick. Take your saffron milk and just pour it around in a circular motion on top of the rice, and then pour in the chicken stock. Okay, so I'm going to use the long grain function because basmati rice is a long grain, and that's what's so cool. You've got all these different options for different types of rice here. And start. There you go. Let's have a look. Ooh, steamy. Oh yeah, look at that. So fluffy. Let me see if it's cooked through. That's perfect. Beautifully tender, but not mushy at all. Now, I just want to get in here and have a look though, because the thing with the induction heating is that it's supposed to make the rice cook perfectly evenly through the whole bowl, which I can see it has. And this is a long grain rice, but this rice cooker can actually cook the perfect rice, doesn't matter what kind of rice it is. Brown rice, jasmine rice, short grain rice. It's a bloody genius. Okay, over here, this guy. Oh, you know, I just love making biryani. It's a thing of beauty. Look at that. It's beautiful. I'll just taste the rice and just see. Yeah, perfectly cooked. The thing that I am just a little bit disappointed in is that I can see that we get down the bottom here and things start to get a bit gluggy. Maybe a little scorched at the bottom, probably because it doesn't have as much kind of like control as the rice cooker on a low temperature heat. So I think for me, like, this is beautiful. I mean, I would not be unhappy with this. Yum, hot. Oh, sorry, I burned my mouth. Just not as evenly cooked as the rice cooker. It's saved time, so it shaved off at least 30 minutes, and it did a better job. But the main thing is that there's enough biryani for everyone, except Dax.
Remember, your fans don't like it when you mean to me, Marion.
Don't they? To serve, scoop out your biryani onto serving plates, top with coriander, and if you want, you can serve with yogurt, onion, chili, and lime. So the moral of the story is, today, technology is won, because for me, this was quicker. It actually had a more even cook. Nothing wrong with this one, it's just that the rice isn't as evenly cooked. It took longer to cook as well, and it was harder to control the temperature. So I did get a little bit of scorching at the bottom. We're going to be doing a one-pot honey soy chicken and rice. So I have chosen a really heavy kind of cast iron pot for this one. The kind of thicker the better for this on the stovetop. That way you're not going to get things burning, which is, you know, you don't want that. All right, now we also want some chicken thigh. I really love chicken thigh in these kind of one-pot dishes because they don't dry out as much as the chicken breast. And I'm just a legs and thighs girl. Now I want to get the chicken kind of marinating in a few flavors first of all. So I'm going to go in with some soy sauce. And then I want some dark soy sauce here as well. Actually, I'm using a dark sweet soy sauce. And this one is really great to give a nice shiny kind of color. I love that. Now a little pinch of white pepper here. And some sesame oil. And this is kind of like a marinating step if you like. I just want a little bit of flavor right on that chicken. Okay, so you can add any other number of things to this. I'm actually gonna add in some Chinese sausage because I love those kind of sweet pops of pork in there. But you could just use like a regular pork sausage if you wanted. If you had some Chinese barbecue pork, that'd be cool too. I'm going to go in with some shiitake mushrooms. Now I have been soaking them in some hot water for a little bit, about 10 minutes or so. And I'm just removing the stem from there because the stems stay really hard and firm and chewy. They don't kind of soften up. So you just want to take those out. Now I want to keep these mushrooms nice and chunky, so I'm just going to cut them in half. A few more extra flavorings here. I want some garlic, some ginger, give this a bit of a mix. And while we're doing all this, it's great because the chicken's kind of soaking up some of that soy flavor and color, which is great. Now this next ingredient is kind of a little trick of mine. So whenever I'm doing a Chinese style kind of one pot dish with rice and with this kind of soy sauce marinade, I like to add just a little bit of corn flour. That's cornstarch if you're in the US. And what that does is it kind of thickens up the sauce and the stock and everything we're gonna put in there and gets it kind of shiny and glossy and yum. Okay, so now let's talk about rice. I'm using Thai jasmine rice here, and I've got 2 cups of rice. So now for some liquids. So I want some chicken stock. So 2 cups, 2 cups. Now for the extra ½ cup of liquid for each of these, you could just go in with another ½ cup of chicken stock, but I'm actually gonna use some Chinese cooking wine for mine. It's a little bit of extra flavor. Now, because I want to give this like a honey soy kind of vibe, I'm going to go in with some honey here as well. All right, so all of our things are now in our pots. Just going to give it a bit of a stir. Okay, so slightly concerned about the size of my pot for our stovetop. I think this is too small, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. This guy is fine. There's plenty of room there. All right, we're going to need a bigger thing. That's better. I mean, that other one is not gonna work. Okay, so this is what happens when you're testing things out. All right, so forget what I said earlier about that pot, and this is, you need a bigger pot. Lid on. Let's get this guy turning on. I think we'll start off high, I think, with this, because we want to get the liquid kind of boiling. This guy, we're just gonna pop him into our rice cooker. Now I'm gonna select the automatic clay pot mode for this because it's a similar kind of clay pot as like a traditional Chinese rice and chicken dish, similar to this. So we'll choose clay pot, press start, and then this guy's gonna take care of himself. Over here, I think I'm gonna give this like 10 minutes on high. I want that stock to really start boiling, but then I want to turn the heat down, make sure we don't get burnt rice on the bottom. 10 minutes. Coffee time.
Coffee boiling.
All right, so I thought it would take 10, but it's only taken 5. Thanks, Mum. Otherwise we would have burnt rice. Okay, all right, so I'll just turn this off. Let's come and have a look in here. Yes, definitely boiling. Okay, so forget what I said earlier about 10 minutes, we want 5 minutes. Now, it is smelling good though. Now I want to turn this down to low. Yeah, see, I feel like this is already the disadvantage between using, you know, an automatic function and the stovetop, because you just don't know the timing. So you've got to be keeping an eye on it, coming back and forth. Or you can just put your mum in charge of keeping an eye on it. Hey Mum, can you just stand there and watch that pot for me? Not quite. Still a bit longer. It's a very good coffee because I made it and you didn't. You're a great Cameron Dax, but you make really bad coffee.
Shots fired.
Oh wait, something's happening, look. Okay, so we didn't have, when I pressed start, there was no time here. Now I've got a 10-minute kind of countdown, which is pretty cool. It is better that you don't have to keep checking on that guy. It's like having kids, like just, you know, you wish you could just leave them be without having to chase after them.
You're a lovely mother, Marion.
Look, I love my kids, but they require a lot of attention, just like this guy. All right, so suspense is over, how fun. The cool thing here is that this has stopped cooking and it's gone straight automatically to this keep warm function. So that's really cool because it means I don't have to keep an eye on it. It's not gonna burn. It's just gonna sit there and keep warm, which is pretty fun. But should we have a look? Dax, come in here, let's have a look. Suspense is killing me. All right. Boop. Ooh, wow, yeah, that looks great. Look at that. All right, let's get that out of there. Right. So that's looking pretty good. Let's see what's happening in here. That looks good too. So if we have a look side by side, we've got most things looking fairly similar here. I mean, the real test is going to be how the rice tastes. So let's get in here and have a look. I'll try this one first. Lovely, fluffy. Some grains are a little chewier than others, so slightly uneven, but good. Let's have a look at this one. Let's get in here with the rice. Definitely a more even cook here. The rice for this one is cooked a lot more, so it's softer and fluffier. I think it would really depend on what your preference for rice would be. I actually really quite like this much softer, fluffier, stickier kind of texture. Yeah, I mean, they're both really good, but I mean, I'd give it to the rice cooker just because I didn't have to check on it. It's cooked more evenly, and this one required a little bit more attention, just like my 3-year-old. Okay, let's get in here. Such a comforting dish, I love this one. One of the things I love about this kind of Asian rice dish is the kind of crispy bottom that you get. Now, I was worried that we wouldn't get that with the rice cooker because I thought it might be too smart to let things caramelize on the bottom. But look at that, look what we've got. It's a beautiful amount of caramelization, it's sticky. Whew, that is good stuff. So we want to get that out as well. Now, serve up our pot version. Now, did we get some? We got a little bit of caramelization on the bottom. I probably could have maybe kept the heat a bit higher at the beginning to get a little bit more of that. Okay, just a little sprinkle there. I'm not really a rice cooker girl. I typically cook my rice on the stovetop, but if I was gonna do this dish again, I would totally use the rice cooker because it was just so much easier. So yum.